Hey fam, Speed Duel Bro here, and in today's video we have Archfiend's Conscription. And by the way, this is the new burn. Let's go. For the skill card we have Archfiend's Conscription, and for the monster lineup we have 2 Skull Archfiend of Lightning, 3 Shadow Knight Archfiend, 1 Terror King Archfiend, 2 Desrook Archfiend, and 1 Vile Pawn Archfiend. For the spells we have 1 Offerings to the Doomed, 3 Book of Moon, 1 Share the Pain, and 1 Checkmate. And then for traps we have 3 Battle Scarred, 2 Aegis of Gaia, and 2 Widespread Ruin. And then for the side deck we have 1 Twisted Personality, 3 Galaxy Cyclone, and 2 Mask of the Accursed. How to win / strategies. Now before we go over the game plan fam, let's review some of the cards like the skill card, and let's review the Archfiends as a whole, what they're all about. So let's start with the skill card, Archfiend's Conscription. And if you notice, it says here, flip this card over when you activate this skill. It doesn't say at the start of the duel, flip it over, etc, etc. So let's read it. It reads, you cannot summon or set non-fiend monsters. Once per turn during your main phase, you can roll a 6-sided die. If you do, you lose life points equal to the result times 200. But if the result is 2, 3, or 4, you can special summon 1 Archfiend monster with a level equal to the result from your hand, deck, or graveyard. Now as you can see fam, this skill is very interesting because it's luck based. It all depends on how lucky you are, and if you're lucky, we can get some free advantage. And then as the Archfiends as a whole fam, all you really need to know is that all of them, during each of your standby phases, you have to pay a life point cost. And not only that, most of these Archfiends, they have the unique ability where you can roll the dice, and depending on the result, you can negate an opponent's monster effect or card effect. I'm not too sure. Just take the time to read the Archfiends, get to know them. But yeah, that's what they basically do. You know, they have great stats for the most part, at least the ones that are displayed here. Minus this, of course, but you get what I'm saying. But yeah, with the Archfiend's mandatory life point cost during each of our standby phases, we're going to utilize that part in our strategy. So let's get right to it. Alright fam, so the strategy for this deck is painstakingly so simple. It's so simple that you don't even have to attack. Here, let me show you. So what we want to do with this deck is basically get one of our stronger Archfiends out on the field and then just maintain our side of the field. So let's say we summoned Shadow Knight Archfiend on our turn, set these 3, pass it to the opponent just sets a monster or whatever, doesn't do anything, right? So now they pass it back to us. Now before we get to our turn, I want you to activate this card right here, Battle Scarred. And for those of you that don't know what Battle Scarred does, what Battle Scarred does is we target one of our Archfiend monsters, and then come our standby phase, the mandatory life point costs that we have to pay, it also applies to the opponent. And so as you can see here, Shadow Knight Archfiend's mandatory life point cost per standby phase is 900 life points. So we're bringing the opponent down with us fam. I know it's a little bit degenerate, but hey, burn is definitely a play style in Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm just presenting the idea, okay? So from this point on, all you really have to do is, like I said, maintain our side of the field. So what we can do to help support that is with our back row. So we've got here a Book of Moon just to stun the opponent's plays. So basically, yeah, we just burn away little by little. And if the burning gets to be too much for us, well, this is where Aegis of Gaia comes in. We get that instant 3000 life point boost, but mind you, if Aegis of Gaia is destroyed, we lose 3000 life points. So high risk, high reward. And so you're probably asking, Speed Duel Bro, where does the skill card Archfiend's Conscription come into play? Honestly fam, I would probably activate this skill card if I had no monsters on the field or in my hand, or if I needed a monster to tribute for a Skull Archfiend of Lightning, or if I had Share the Pain, or if I somehow could push for game with Terror King Archfiend and with Checkmate. Now mind you fam, with Terror King Archfiend, he's the one that's one of the more unique ones because it says cannot be normal or flip summoned unless you control an Archfiend monster. But we can't special summon it, so there's ways around that part. And we'll get to Terror King Archfiend more when we get to the card analysis part. And then the only other time that I would activate this skill card is if I know I could potentially go for game. So yeah, just use Archfiend's Conscription as you see fit for your situation in the duel. But yeah, this is the main priority strategy, is burning away at the opponent's life points. And thankfully the Archfiends, they do boast impressive offensive stats, so we could beat down the opponent. But again, our prime strategy is burn. And then let's say you won game 1, right? Well, for game 2, I want you to side in the skill card Twisted Personality. That way things can get really messy for the opponent, because even though Twisted Personality has been errataed, we can definitely benefit from this skill card because we'll be paying life points every turn. And then you can imagine, fam, the havoc that you'll be wrecking on the opponent. So I'll leave that to your imagination. Card analysis. The skill card Archfiend's Conscription. At the very least, this skill card stays true to the nature of the Archfiends, wherein we roll a dice and we go from there. If we're lucky, we're lucky. If not, oh well. You know, if you're a lucky person, then this skill card is for you. And then we play the 2 Skull Archfiend of Lightning. The reason why we play 2 fam is because I like having a good beater for this deck, because 2500 still very formidable in this format. And really, Skull Archfiend of Lightning, that's Summon Skull, baby. You can't go wrong with Summon Skull. But yeah, overall, just a good tribute monster to have for this deck. And if we're able to plus off of Archfiend's Conscription, then even better, so that we can tribute away for Summon Skull here. And then we play the 3 Shadow Knight Archfiend. The reason why we're playing 3 of this guy is because he is the easiest and strongest Archfiend to summon. Now granted, Shadow Knight Archfiend has that effect where any damage he deals, it's halved. But remember fam, beating down and doing battle damage is not our main objective here. But yeah, we're looking to open up with Shadow Knight Archfiend first turn, and then hopefully we have Battle Scarred and some couple of back row to help maintain our side of the field. And then we play the 1 Terror King Archfiend. Now the reason why we're only playing 1 fam is because, again, I mentioned earlier, we cannot normal summon or flip summon Terror King Archfiend unless we have an Archfiend monster. But if you're lucky, we can special summon it through the skill card Archfiend's Conscription. But back to the point of why we only play 1 of this is because the fact that we can't normal summon it is just so restricting. Even flip summon, it's so restricting. So that's why we just play 1. And plus, we kind of want to play the Terror King Archfiend when we know we can attack directly for game with checkmate. Because once we've whittled or burned away most of the opponent's life points, and that's the cool thing here too, Terror King Archfiend has 2000 attack. So really, if we can just burn the opponent's life points for 2 to 3 turns and then go in with Terror King Archfiend and checkmate, oh, that'd be something, right fam? But yeah, we don't want to restrict ourselves if we were to open up multiple copies of this. So again, that's why I only play 1. And then we play the 2 Deathstroke Archfiend. Now the reason why we're playing 2 is because not only does it have decent stats, 1800 defense, but if you read Deathstroke Archfiend closely, it has a Call of the Haunted effect or Resurrection effect for Terror King Archfiend. And not only that, it's a level 3, so it's applicable to Archfiend's Conscription. But like I said earlier too fam, take the time to read each of the Archfiend's individual effects. That way you can build a deck that you feel is appropriate for your preference. And then we play the 1 Vilepon Archfiend. The reason why we play 1 of these is because it's a level 2, so it's applicable to Archfiend's Conscription. And don't forget fam, with Archfiend's Conscription, we can always bring a Archfiend either from the hand, deck, or graveyard. So that's pretty awesome to me. But again, 1 is all you need. 1 Vilepon Archfiend. And then we play the 1 Offerings to the Doom. This is just so that we can help, again, protect our side of the field. If the opponent has anything troublesome, well, just Offerings to the Doom it away. You could play Nightmare Wheel just to be funny and add more burn, put more pressure on the opponent. But I just felt like, destroying troublesome monsters would be a better option. But again, you're welcome to play Nightmare Wheel. I would definitely recommend it. And then we play the 3 Book of Moon. As you all know, fam, Book of Moon is great. It's universal utility at its finest. We can shut down the opponent's monster right then and there. And not only that, Book of Moon will also protect our Archfiend monsters if the opponent tries to destroy our Battle Scarred, because I forgot to mention earlier, with Battle Scarred, if the opponent destroys this while it's hooked up to an Archfiend, well, the Archfiend is destroyed too. So as you can see, we've got major utility with Book of Moon in this deck. And then we play the 1 Checkmate. Now this, fam, I feel like it's more like icing on the cake, or it's our ace in the hole, because we will catch the opponent off guard with this, because the opponent's thinking we're just gonna burn away, which we will. But remind you, if things go well with burning our opponent's life points with Shadow Knight Archfiend or any other Archfiend, we just need to get our opponent's life points to 2000. Because remember, Terror King Archfiend has 2000 attack, so as you can see, it really is checkmate for the opponent. But yeah, you get the idea, right? And then we play 1 Share the Pain. The reason why I like 1 tech choice of Share the Pain in this deck is because, again, if we can just get a free plus on the field, why not utilize it with Share the Pain? And then we play 3 Battle Scarred, the MVP of this deck, because of this card, we're taking our opponent down with us. Plain and simple. And then we play the 2 Ages of Gaia, which you can imagine that this is our safety net, so that if the opponent thinks that they just need to wait it out and stall 2, well, guess again, joke's on them. We get 3000 life points and they don't, and the game's over. We're gonna win this thing. And then we play the 2 Widespread Ruin. Now this is just to help maintain our side of the field, just in case the opponent has anything troublesome. But again, I don't really see that happening too much, just because our Archfiends are pretty strong monsters on their own. And then for the side deck, we've got the 1 Twisted Personality. Now this is what makes this deck even more dangerous when you swap out the skill cards for game 2, because now it puts even more pressure on the opponent. You know, not only are they suffering from burn damage, but with the Twisted Personality skill card, you already know the havoc that this skill wreaks. And then we play the 3 Galaxy Cyclone. Now this is just if the opponent has excessive back row, and as you all know, Galaxy Cyclone is a very good new utility back row removal card, so self-explanatory. And then we play the 2 Mask of the Accursed. This is just to add extra burn pressure for game 2. And now, fam, it's time for the moment of truth. Where does this deck rank on the power scale? In my humble opinion, this deck is casual. Now the reason why I say this deck is casual, fam, is simply because we require some setup, and this deck is a very risky deck to play, because if we don't have the right setup, we're definitely going to be in for a rough time. And the fact that our skill card is very luck based, so if we were in a pinch and we really needed the skill card to come through for us, well, sometimes it won't. But if you look at the deck, fam, you see that I've put enough support cards to help us maintain and protect our side of the field until we can get the proper setup. But yeah, this deck is definitely a fun and trolly kind of deck, in the sense that just imagine getting all the dice rolls correct, even for the Archfiend monsters. Now wouldn't that be something? So if your luck stat is high, well, this deck may just be for you. So there you go, fam. That's the deck. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did, please feel free to hit the like button, because it helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed to me, your Speed Duel bro, you're more than welcome to subscribe, because 2 things. 1, I always play to win, and I'll teach you how to win. And no matter what the power level of the deck is, be it casual, semi-competitive, or competitive, we're gonna do our best to win this thing. And 2, if you love speed duels, I'm sure you'll love me too, your Speed Duel bro. Alright fam, that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.